Welcome to des Anecdotes, the channel that serves you history in all the sauces. Today, Béchamel sauce.
In the sumptuous salons, which some disgruntled souls persist in finding too pompous, where chandeliers vied in brilliance with the courtiers' boredom and silk gowns rustled with secrets as crisp as stale bread, a name circulated with a deference hardly less than that accorded to the Duchess's latest favourite, Bechamel. Let me tell you, oh you refined palates and curious minds, the genesis, the mysteries, and the triumphs of this creamy preparation which, even today, coats our most distinguished dishes with a consistency that would make the most zealous tax collector green with envy. For, you see, behind the biblical simplicity of this union of milk, butter, and flour, hides an intrigue as tangled as the genealogy of a nouveau riche. In the year of grace 1651, the Sun King, still at the age when ball games were preferred to royal edicts, already hinted at an authority that would later extend to the limits of his subjects' patience. It was in this century, when good taste was beginning to emerge, despite some lingering barbaric manners, that the shadow of a man, Louis de Bechamel, Marquis de Nointel and, incidentally, maître d'hôtel to the future monarch, came to hover over our pots and pans. Legend has it, spread by cooks more concerned with flattering their patrons than verifying their sources, that it was he who elevated this sauce, transforming it from a shapeless mush into a cream worthy of the finest Sèvres porcelain. One imagines Bechamel, with a gesture as solemn as that of an academic putting the finishing touches to his acceptance speech, incorporating the milk into the roux with a gravity that would suggest the preparation of an elixir of longevity. However, some mischievous minds, probably jealous of this undeserved culinary glory, whisper that Bechamel merely lent its name to an already known mixture, a sort of improved food glue. Some, with audacity bordering on impertinence, even evoke earlier connections with flour, as delightful as a Sunday sermon on a rainy day. This doesn't matter because history, often as accommodating as a crooked notary, has retained the name Bechamel. And it must be admitted that, under this flattering label, the sauce conquered the most illustrious tables with a speed that would make a flu epidemic look like a walk in the park. It became the indispensable attribute for fine poultry, the modest veil for slightly bland vegetables, the promise of a creaminess that almost consoled us for the harshness of taxes. Over the decades, Bechamel sauce spanned the ages, giving rise to offspring as varied as political opinions on election night. Mornay, with its cheese addition as eagerly awaited as an unexpected inheritance. Soubise, where the onion mourns its caramelization with an almost suspicious sweetness. Nantua, with its crayfish aromas reminiscent of the rivers where people fished before pollution. Even today, in our modern kitchens, Bechamel sauce reigns with an authority that even the most uncompromising department manager wouldn't dare question. It's the backbone of our Sunday gratins, the soul of the croque-monsieur, that daring attempt to transform 2 slices of bread into a complete meal, and the often leaked secret of so many dishes that console us from life's ups and downs, much like a good nap after a heavy meal. So, my friends, the next time you enjoy a spoonful of this suspiciously white sauce, spare a thought for Louis de Bechamel, whether he was its inventor or simply its godfather. His name is forever linked to this preparation, a testament to the French art of living, where even the most mundane sauce can have a story as incredible as a cloak and dagger novel, without the jewels, which, by golly, is much safer for the tablecloth.
Age and infirmities are the sad prerogatives of old age. We must therefore excuse ourselves if, by mistake, our dear Master Hodge, whose memory sometimes frays like old lace and whose eyesight, alas, is no longer that of a young page, may have confused the century of Louis the Great with that of his great-grandson. Let enlightened minds therefore deign not to be offended by these minor chronological errors, attributable solely to the weaknesses of a man whose zeal is matched only by his seniority. We hope that the flavor of our modest illustrations will not be altered and that your indulgence will be able to compensate for these slight anachronisms.